Hello and welcome into the Piles of Paragraphs creative space. I'm Lori and today we're going to work on Margarete Miller Collage Challenge, week number 9. My goodness, time is just moving right along, isn't it? Okay, I have my background paper here that I've gone ahead and glued something down on, so we're not starting with a plain white page. Let's see, what are our prompts for this week? A wild animal, and I have different choices for wild animal here. I have some cranes, and I have this tiger, but since it's a training book, I guess he's not really wild, but I generally think of tigers as being wild. You know how I love kitties. So let's see, with the wild animal, a tree with blossoms. The first things that comes to my mind when I saw a tree with blossoms was cherry blossoms. So some cherry blossoms, part of a recipe that you enjoy making. I have 3 choices of recipes here. I'll talk about those more later. A book page. So in addition to the page that I have here on my background sheet, I have some additional book page. And oops, if I can get a hold of something. Let's see. Something that came in the mail. There's an image of an envelope sent in Paris. I think in the early 1900s, if I remember correctly, because it's too small, I can't read the date. And then bonus is a date or anything from a calendar. I have this, and I also have a stamp with some years on it that we might want to use. So let's go ahead and get started. I hope everyone's doing well today and has had a chance to do some crafting or making. Okay, let's see, a wild animal. I think we're probably going to use the cranes, but since I found this tiger, let's quick cut around of him and see what we think. Once again, this image is from the New York Public Library's digital collection. It's a wonderful, wonderful resource for these varied elements that Margarete has us looking for. Let's see. I don't think there was no, there's not a date. The training book was $1, so $1 net. So I'm guessing it's probably early 1900s. We have a tiger. I do love this image of the cranes. And I also love this image of the cranes, this line drawing. Let's trim around this one real quick and see. Oops. I don't think I'm going to have any exciting stories to tell you guys this week. Let's see. My husband and I did have a couple of nice dinners at one of our favorite restaurants here in town. It's called Mingle and Graze, and it's owned by some friends of ours, Christoval and Moffam. They are a delightful couple, and they work so hard. And the food is delicious and interesting. I had a piece of I can't remember what it is now. It's trout, steelhead trout, which I love there. Cristobal, one of the owners and the chef, is he and I both absolutely love that fish. So I'm always excited when I get to have that. They're converting their restaurant over from being a cheese shop and a sandwich venue to they're also adding dinner or fine dining dinner menu, and they also recently let's see, November of last year, they opened a wine store, which I may have mentioned before, around the corner from the restaurant. The wine store is called Spin the Bottle, which I think is just one of the greatest names of all time. And it's a nice shop, and they have really good quality wine and interesting selection. Let's see. Okay. Okay. To start with, I think I'm going to go with this particular image of the cherry blossoms, which is from Japan. And I'm going to go with those cranes, also from Japan. Let's see, part of a recipe I enjoy making. I do not have a Japanese recipe to share. I do have, I think that's too much the same color. This happens to be a recipe for my dad's famous potato salad that he used to make. My dad was never much one to like to be in the kitchen, but he retired before my mom did, and so he took over some of the cooking duties for her so she wouldn't have to cook when she got home. And he found this potato salad recipe, and it is simply the best. My sister said the other day she didn't have this recipe, so I sent it to her. And as you can see, it's very faded, and it's not his handwriting, unfortunately. It's my handwriting from probably 25 years ago or longer. And so my sister was asking me questions about it's got sugar in the recipe, and of course I have, next to sugar I have not, because we don't put the sugar in it. But she's like, sugar in a potato salad? I said, yeah. I'm not sure if my dad put it or not. Probably, because he was following the recipes to the T. But it's a very delicious potato salad, and generally the only potato salad I'll eat. Always disappointed in everyone else's. This recipe is for my mom's traditional pumpkin pie recipe, and it is in her handwriting. And I laugh every Thanksgiving when I make this recipe, because when my mom gave this to me, I hadn't been cooking very long. I think I certainly hadn't been making pies very long. I was probably fairly newly married, so about 30 years ago. And part of the directions for this pie is add everything together, and she felt the need to write next to it, not the crust. So I always say that speaks volumes about what my mother thought of my kitchen skills at that point. But it always makes me laugh every year. All right, book page, which technically we have book page. But just in case I cover everything up, I've got some more book page here in case we need to pull that in. Something that came in the mail. Nope. Uh-oh. Now I've done it. I've misplaced my little envelope. There it is. I still have everything in order. Okay, so make this little envelope. I have a lot of square things. This time, and things roughly the same size. Okay, so let's start by changing the shape of our cranes here a little bit, and giving them a little bit of a white edge and a torn edge. We know I love a torn edge. Got these on here. Let's see, that's better. I think this one I was going to trim the white edge off of. I should probably have left the dark edge, shouldn't I? Well, missed it on that one, so I'll just take it off and I'll, oops. Yep, missed my basket. Well, this week in Arizona, I am filming ahead so that I hopefully will not get behind. We're having spring is kind of coming back to Arizona. It's going to be in the 80s a couple of days this week. And, well, that's a very nice temperature. It makes me a little sad because I know that means that the heat is on its way. Okay. And I am not a fan of the heat, as I'm sure I've told you that before. I tell everybody. Let's see. Something from Canada. Let's go ahead and do this little here. It's a little heavier than what I usually use, a little more cardstock. My husband likes these little cards, and he didn't really use them much in the year 2020. So he gifted them to me to use in my crafts. So occasionally I find a use for them. Okay, so we got wild animal, we've got our cranes, we've got our cherry tree, we've got our book page. Something that came in the mail, and Bum Scout. Wow, that's pretty quick. Let's see. I didn't write the time down, so I don't. And of course, I don't remember. Oh, I have to get better about writing down the time. And I know, Gail, if you're watching, you're laughing because you're always good about writing down the time, so you can tell how long you've been recording. Let's give this a little edge. Okay. And I'll be gluing over here on my old printing pages. I did another video earlier, and I was kind of laughing. I think this particular level of printing pages that I've worked my way down to is from Job Search from years ago. Glad I'm not doing that anymore. Okay, so let's put this in, and up here, try to make it straight. Or straight-ish, as I always say. Let's see. Put Mom's recipe in. Ooh, nice. Sticky fingers. Sticky fingers. Let me get a piece of my baby wipe out and wipe my fingers off so that I don't continue to stick to everything. But yes, we had rain, I think, last week, at least one day, or we were supposed to anyway. I can't remember now if it even rained or not. I'll tell you. There we go. Ooh, that was really stuck to the page. The glue page, that is. Okay, let me put this in here. Oh, traditional pumpkin pie. I have never been a fan of making crust. And, my mom got sick, and she became a type 1 diabetic when she was, oh gosh, in her 70s, and she had a virus that knocked out the function of her pancreas. But anyway, too much information. But so I revamped Thanksgiving dinner when I started cooking for her, because she wasn't up to cooking for us anymore. And she still wanted all of the traditional things that you have at Thanksgiving dinner, which is, of course she would. Why wouldn't you? But I tried really, really hard to keep her on her proper diet and keep all her exchanges as even as I could, so we didn't send her into any kind of a spin with too many carbs and whatnot. And so I started making the pumpkin pie without a crust. And truthfully, I prefer it. And I still do it. So I've kind of retitled it pumpkin custard because I don't do the crust. My husband doesn't complain, bless him. Of course, having to listen to me try to make crust and yelling and screaming in the kitchen's probably why he accepts it. Either that or I make him do it because he has. I have very warm, very, very warm hands. I'm trying to make pie crust. Warm hands is a bit of a nightmare. It melts everything, and it's just a huge pain. He has cold hands, so he is able to make pie crust quite nicely. He just doesn't necessarily care to do it. Okay, and then we have this little march. My goodness. Sometimes they go together quickly and well, and sometimes they're a struggle. This one falls into the quickly and well category. Oops. Nope. Yep. Thicker piece of cardstock, and it's going to scoot around a little bit. Okay. Well, I think that is it for week 9. Hold on. Let me wipe my fingers off again because I am still quite sticky. Okay. So, a wild animal. I actually have 3 of them. We have the cranes, a tree with blossoms. We've got cherry blossoms there. Part of a recipe I enjoy making. It's the pumpkin pie. Book page. This image from the New York Public Library of an ancient Japanese book. Something that came in the mail. It's an envelope. Image of an envelope from France. And bonus is a date or anything from a calendar. And this is a little month of March from a calendar. So there we go. There is week 9 of the Margarete Miller Collage Challenge. Thank you for joining me. I hope you'll join me again soon. Bye-bye for now.